to GoldBoys Live, presented by Pickett Sports, Sleeper Picks, Brad Thomas, Josh. We got some NFL to discuss, a Monday Night Football game last night that was, quite frankly, a tough watch for anyone. We'll get into some futures, some awards. I do have a future that I love that I just bet for an award. We'll touch on some NBA. What's going on, guys? Takeaways from last night. Are your eyes okay? That was a tough one.
Last night was really tough. I haven't been handicapping a ton with the baby. It's been pretty tough. So yesterday I took some time out of my day and I handicapped the game. There was only two angles that I liked. It was Garrett Wilson's base, 73.5, I think is what it was by the time I got to it. And then his alternate line 100 plus. And it was a tough watch. Like, I was lucky to cash 73.5. He finished with 80. And I'm just glad that I didn't, drink the Kool-Aid of Austin Eckler or Breece Hall, because if you played unders in that game, you cashed. I think every pass catcher went under for the Chargers. Justin Herbert went under his, Zach Wilson went under his, Herbert went over his rushing. It was a tough game to watch. Tough game to make money unless you're an unders better.
Which is, I think, what you should be on primetime games at this point, which is 21-7 to the under. I'm sorry, 22-7 to the under, including Sunday night if you want to count it. So gross.
What's that
around.
for the season?
Yeah, 22-7 on primetime games.
Wow.
Somewhere, or it's probably closer to 30, right? Because there's probably been 10 and whatever. But at any rate, the thing that helped me was I was like, you know what? When the Nuggets were down 15, I put like $20 on their money line at like plus 750, whatever it was. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna sweat that out instead of really watch this game, because there was nothing to watch. Once it was like 17-3, even 23, it was just like there's just nothing to watch here.
I said yesterday, my whole thing was I like the Jets here. I don't know how the Chargers are favored by 3.5 over anyone. And you know what? I don't really feel that differently. Like, if you look at the box score, if you just look at the final score, Chargers win the game by 21 points, and Chargers killed them. I mean, really,
no, they
7
didn't.
fumbles. It was 6 of them recovered by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers got a punt return for a touchdown, which is kind of fluky, and neither team did anything on offense. Yards per play, the Jets won. Total yards, the Jets won. The Chargers did nothing. The Chargers had 14 first downs. So neither team did anything. If you're getting 3.5 where neither team does anything, usually you're in good shape. But just the ball didn't bounce your way off the Jets. Not that the Jets are, some impressive team here. I think this kind of knocks them out of being a playoff contender. If they won last night, hey, you're 5-3. You got the Raiders. You can get to 6-3. All you got to do is play 500 or so the rest of the way. You get to 10 wins, you can get in. Now they got to go 6-3 to get to 10 wins. Every win for them is a struggle. Every win is pulling teeth. So I just think that this probably knocks them out. I mean, Rodgers was overheard last night saying, "Hey, back in a couple weeks, we'll see." A few weeks. If he's going to come back for the playoffs, that's one thing. A few weeks, that seems optimistic. So
no, that's too fast.
Yeah,
I don't care what kind of voodoo magic he's on.
No, that would be crazy. Would it matter? This one, I guess it could boost morale, but not. I mean, it's just so tough to tell when Zach Wilson's going to turn the ball over when he's not, and that's like it. I feel like, and the last 2 weeks he's kind of been back to Zach Wilson, and that offensive line is just not good, plain and simple. So
I
so stay away from it. But
no, I just think they're done. I'm not overly impressed with the Chargers either. The Chargers are back. Herbert didn't look great. Their defense is fine, but I don't think their defense is. Yeah, what do you think? It's the finger? Like, he looked good last week against the Bears. So I know people make excuses for Herbert, so I don't want to get into this. Like, every time he plays bad, you make excuses. But he didn't look good.
I can see the Chargers missing the playoffs, but it's minus 130 for them to miss the playoffs. Like, I was looking at that number and I was like, I wish it was flipped, like plus 110 to miss the playoffs. But I could see them missing the playoffs. Let's say at best, I think they finished 9-8. I don't think that makes the playoffs. And that's if they go perfect against all the teams.
Let's see. So Lions toss-up game. Home, let's see. At the Packers. Packers stink, but who knows? Home for the Ravens, tough game. At the Patriots, they should win. Home for the Broncos. Broncos are playing a little better. You'd think they should win, but not a gimme. At the Raiders. Home versus the Bills. Broncos again. Chiefs the final week of the season, but who knows? Chiefs might not be playing for anything. Could come down to that last week where if the Chiefs don't need the game, you could just run over them and get in. That's a reasonable schedule. You get the Raiders, the Broncos twice, the Packers.
Odds are, real quick, the Chiefs are going to need that game if the Ravens are as good as they are.
Probably.
Right. You really want that 1 seed.
Yeah. What are their records now?
7-2 each.
7-2.
7-2 each. And do the Chiefs and Ravens play each other this year? I don't think they do.
Don't think so.
So yeah, you need a situation. It's hard. It's so hard because that's interesting.
That would just be cruel if you put the Chiefs on, on the Ravens schedule where they already have like a really good division.
Yeah.
And they play,
But Chiefs' schedule is
They play
not
the
easy going
49ers.
forward. I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but they get the
No.
Eagles, they get the Bills, they get the Bengals. Other than that, it's pretty easy. But I guess chances are they would probably it will probably be a matter going into the final week, but there is a possibility it doesn't, where they're just locked in. So I don't know. I look at the Chargers' odds to make the playoffs. It's a coin toss. I feel like it's properly priced as a coin toss. I'm not dying to bet yes. I'm not dying to bet no.
I was, with all this said, I was thinking, like, is there anything you think for like number one seed? I was trying to find number one seed, and I was also trying to find most regular season wins and see if there's anything there. But
Number one seed, Eagles minus 110 in the NFC,
right.
Lions plus 250, 49ers plus 450, Dallas 9-1. And then in the AFC, Chiefs are the short shot plus 150, Ravens plus 290, Jags are 4-1, Dolphins 5-1.
That's where I start to get interested, is Ravens plus 290. When I started looking at them head to head, and you talk about the Chiefs schedule, yeah, it's tough because the Ravens out of division have the 49ers and even the Jaguars and the Dolphins all in a row in December.
The Ravens do?
Yeah, that's not gonna be a fun month. Luckily, the Rams are awful now, so like other than that, the month of December is hard, but they do get the Rams to kick it off.
Oh, if you do get Stafford back, which it sounds like he's close, that's not as bad. You get the Browns, the Ravens. So I guess the schedule is probably, I don't know. Is there anything worth a bet here?
Plus 290 when they're tied right now? I don't know. I mean, they're so impressive right now. I guess it's the lowest time the worst time to buy them, but
enough to bet. Like, would you actually bet?
I'm saying 3-1. Yeah, that would be my bet in this number one seed. Now that I'm looking at it, because that's what I started thinking about when we started pitting the Chiefs and the Ravens against each other.
Yeah. So, Brad, any thoughts on that? Enough to bet?
Probably not for me. That's tough.
Yeah.
If I had to bet it, I think I'd take the Ravens plus 290. I don't know.
I have to think I'd dig a little deeper into that schedule.
Anything else? Because you were off yesterday, Brad. Anything? Oh, congrats, by the way. I don't know if we said congrats. I feel like these days
man.
Together.
We have forgotten.
I am exhausted, but like we got a little bit of a rhythm going. So we're making it one.
Brad's a dad, if that wasn't clear.
Yes, and it wasn't clear, but because I didn't say anything to make it clear. Awards, futures, anything you want to dive into? I'll start off here. I think Burrow, he's 9-1 at FanDuel. I think he's very live to win the MVP. The other mentioned last week how the numbers weren't great, but Burrow was 20-1. That feels like a missed opportunity. I feel like you can forgive Burrow for the first month. People are like, oh, he's hurt. It was the first month. Who cares? Yeah. Nobody else has really pulled away. Mahomes hasn't been great with the stats. Tua has really come back down to earth, and that was not an MVP performance the other day. Lamar's really good. I get he's up there, plus 350. Hurts, okay, plus 350. I don't know. Is he the MVP? To me, Burrow's the bet here. Do you have anything on this or anything else in terms of how tides have turned? Y'all should talk Burrow, even though his track record. Well, he wasn't playing well early in the year.
It's easy to talk shit when someone's playing bad. Like that's what we're supposed to do.
The facts change. He's played really well.
I think we all also thought that like he wasn't going to be able to come back from a calf injury. Until,
I agree with that.
Unless he stayed out.
Yeah, I agree.
He came back from the bye, and he looks like a different player, unshockingly, because it was a calf, and that's that. But like, it would be boring if we were like, oh man, I hope Joe Burrow's okay. Like he's gonna play fine, I suppose. Like he played like shit because he was hurt.
Yes.
I'll say this, favorite snail. I'll say this.
And I love you, favorite snail, by the way.
I bet the Bengals 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. And it's not because I believe the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. It's about getting value on a team that's playing hot with a quarterback who's playing out of his mind. They look like they're protecting the quarterback a little bit better, and their defensive line is getting pressure on the quarterback. Those are things that you need to be successful. It's down to 12-1. I think I saw 14-1 yesterday. So I still would play 14. Once I get past 14, I probably would start passing.
It's just hard. I'm with you directionally. It's just hard when you're not even favored to win your division. You're talking about, all right, road game, then Super Bowl. It's like, man, maybe just better off. And not that they can't win the division, but you know what I mean? Where it's like that path, especially with only the one bye now, is so important. And anything else? Awards? Would you take Burrow 7-1 MVP? I think 7-1 on DraftKings, 9-1 on FanDuel. Anything else jump out to you here?
I took I didn't take it yet, but I'm going to take Bills to make the playoffs. I think that loss made the price playable at -120. Schedule's not super difficult, not super easy. I mean, excuse me. The schedule is difficult, but I believe in this Bills team to win enough. Like they played against a really good Bengals team in Cincinnati.
They
and
look
won
like
that
shit
game.
though. They look so bad.
Yeah, and
But
I'm
they're
okay
still
with
in it.
that. Like I'm okay with that. I think if they looked good, we would be getting a price that's like -200. I'm playing the price. They play the Jets. The next few games get right spots, and you're not going to be able to probably bet this.
After
They
that,
host.
though, it's tough. You better win the next two. So home for
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
Broncos.
not going to get a better price, is what I'm saying. Like if
Yeah,
they beat the Broncos, beat the Jets, both home games, which they're dominant at home,
Roger.
then that price is going to be -250. If you play it deep enough too, you're probably going to get +200 on the other side, so you can still get good value if you put 2 units on to make the playoffs. They go win both these games, and the other side's
when
probably
you
going to
buy
be
back,
+200.
that's
Then you can
probably
buy
a good way
back.
to do it
Yeah,
because they do have two, like you said, home versus the Broncos. The Broncos have played better here than home
yeah.
versus the Jets. That should be a
Then it gets
win.
tough.
I mean, you never really trust them. But then at the Eagles, at the
At the
Chiefs, home
Chiefs,
versus the
host the Bills,
Cowboys. I mean, you might be
then
lucky
at the
to get, and
Chargers.
at the Chargers, you might be lucky to get one. They finish at the Dolphins, which again, who knows? That could be a great game with like all the money in the middle of the table, or one of those teams could have it locked up, probably the Miami. So that's interesting. I don't know. I don't like McDermott. I don't like the defense. They're so conservative on offense. I didn't like what I saw. It's to me, it's Diggs on offense. It's not a lot else. I get what you're saying of like, hey, it's not even that I like it. It's just the time to play is right now. But man, I don't know. You actually think they're going to make it? Forget the price and stuff. Do you actually think they're going to make it?
Yeah, I do.
I
I
get it.
do. I
You
think
have-
I
you
think
have
that team's
Allen.
I think that team's just better than what they've been putting on the field. Like, and it's
What makes
funny
you
because
say
they're
that?
like it like comes in glimpses. Like they have periods of games where they play really well, right? Like they play against the Dolphins, tremendous. Against the Commanders, looked like a totally
See,
different team.
that is
But
a totally different team because they're missing what 4 or 5 guys on defense.
I think then, yeah.
And then, but even against the Buccaneers, I thought they played really good. They played against a Buccaneers team that pretty much shut them down in a lot of places and still found a way to should have won by double digits. Against the Patriots, they played good for 2 quarters. Then Patriots snuck their way back into the game. Like they have glimpses. It's just about putting it all together. I just think this Bills team too has a lot of senior guys with experience in the playoffs. When you have guys like that, like a Diggs, like a Allen, who are experienced playoff players,
Yeah.
then they're going to find their way into the playoffs. Like it's like better like trusting the Bills than this is gonna sound crazy, but then trusting the Dolphins. Dolphins haven't beat a team over 500 yet.
Yeah.
Same thing as last year. I think. I mean, your logic is sound on betting it now, and then if you put them at 2-0
And you can buy it back, yeah.
after this run, you can either buy it back or you can look at where you're at. I mean, obviously you stop and look at where you're at, and you've got Philly, KC, Dallas, and the Chargers right in a row. I think like what you go 2-2 there, you pull one out between Philly, KC, and Dallas, LA. Like, yeah, I think at that point you're probably still looking at controlling your own destiny, and now you've got them at -120 to win 2 games against division teams that they usually beat.
The problem is if you go 1-3 there.
Right.
If they have to win these next 2
Right.
games, where all my values decimated.
Yeah. Which they should.
That's first. That's the first order of business.
Let it ride, man. I mean, the offense is in a bad place right now, and I hear what you're saying too, Will. Except for I think that's why you do buy it back, is you believe in the offense enough to get them to the playoffs, because that unit is still healthy enough, and you've seen them be good. I would say it's a little bit more of an anomaly how much more he's using guys like Shakir and not Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. They went on a little winning streak, and Gabe Davis had like 4 touchdowns in a row in games in a row. And
I think
Diggs the same, and then they just kind of go away from those guys, even in like the middle of the field for some reason. Like Diggs had like a 40-yard reception, and he's gone from the game.
Let's look at their last 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. After they beat the Dolphins and when these injuries started to pile up, lost in London, looked terrible. Beat the Giants. That might be the worst performance of the year. Lost to the Patriots. Didn't cover against the Bucs, and then got their ass kicked by the Bengals, which I think was a misleading final. I know they lost by 6, but the Bengals
barely didn't cover against the Bucs.
What's that?
Barely didn't cover against the
Bucs. No, I know, but that's their best performance. A game they didn't even cover.
Yeah.
And if who is it? Godwin. If Godwin's looking for the ball on the Hail Mary, I get it would have been a fluky loss.
We can't be saying, yeah, that'd be
no. But this is 7 weeks. That's their best game. This is what that's their best game in 7 weeks. Here is a game against Tampa where they didn't cover. Like that. They have not played well for a long period of time.
Yep.
Yes,
Agreed.
yes, you're right.
Agreed.
But I also don't want to be the guy putting too much stock into them losing to the Patriots, a divisional road
Yeah.
game. Like that stuff happens in the NFL so often where
Yeah, but the Giants one's a bad one. The Giants one's
Giants
a
were
It was
bad
on the way
one.
back
terrible.
from. It was on the way back from London. Do with that what you will.
I mean, we can sit here and make all the
We
excuses in
can.
the
We
world.
can.
They
I think.
haven't played well in a long time, though.
I don't
It's
think we're even
I'm playing
arguing. I
and
think we're
yeah,
saying
and
that like Brad and I are
I'm playing a
biased.
-120. Like I'm playing a -120, not laying -200, -180 on it.
And
Yeah.
it's not like I'm dying to bet no. I'm trying
Yeah.
to keep it fair where I'm
We.
like, why I don't want to play the yes. It's like, man, they haven't
Yeah.
looked good in a long time here. I mean, it's been a while.
Well,
It really has.
I will
That's why you got to buy
I
it.
will
Yeah.
say I will say
Like
this.
it.
Every team that I have a season win total under won this week.
It's not a good feeling.
I was like, no way. What we had the Raiders, the Packers,
Yeah.
someone else. Raiders,
Um,
Packers. I was pissed.
I teased at the beginning of the show an award I bet. Coach of the Year. I think this is completely mispriced. I actually think he should be. I don't know if he should be favored because I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but if they make the playoffs, I think
O'Connell?
he's going to win. Mike Tomlin, 22-1. He's never won this award. The perception of that team, the narrative of that team is they have no talent and it's all coaching. He's never won.
Yeah.
There's not a great like Campbell at plus 180. They were division favorites. I don't think he fits the profile here.
No.
McDaniel, that offense is cooled off. I get why he's up there. D'Amico Ryans, it's a great story. He have a chance if they make the playoffs. I just don't know if they're actually going to
I
win
don't think they're gonna
9
make the
games to
playoffs,
get in.
no.
Exactly. You can't win this award without making the playoffs. Sal is 10-1. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Harbaugh's won it before. Sirianni's probably not going to win. They were supposed to be good. To me, Tomlin 22-1 is completely mispriced. I think he should be closer to like 3 or 4, maybe 5-1. If they're plus 140 to make the playoffs, I don't get how they're 22-1.
Yeah, wait. I
He's
didn't
22-1.
realize Tomlin was a longer price than O'Connell. Because I like O'Connell as well. But I thought O'Connell and Tomlin would be closer. So if I'm looking at price, I'd probably take Tomlin more.
I think it hurts O'Connell that they won 13 games last year. I know Cousins got hurt this year, but I don't know. I just don't know if O'Connell gets it. There's definitely a case. It just doesn't fit the profile of guy. It's usually the team that overachieves. And I guess if you lose Cousins and you do it with Dobbs, I get that helps you. I don't know.
So it's either you take a team, you overachieve a bad team into the playoffs, or what about if you say
dominate
Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni and you dominate your conference in a way that like you're 1 or 2 seed. Like convincingly.
I think you'd have to be no more than 3 losses, probably 2. Like if you go 15-2, all right, this guy was 52, he's the coach of the year. At 14-3, it's cutting it close. Like once you're 13-4 or lower, it's like, all right, that's not the great.
Well, let's remember because it used to be like the barometer. I felt like was like 13-3 was like a really impressive season,
Yeah.
And now you got to make it that like 14-3 is the equivalent of something.
To win coach of the year. I think Tomlin fits the Dable mode from last year, where you hear about the Steelers. The first thing people say about the Steelers, like, man, Tomlin can do a hell of a job coaching. Like the team's not very good, which it's not. But I just think, and people like him. The media likes him. He's never won the award before. The narrative, like he's always over 500. I could just see it if they get in him winning this award. It should not. I'll say this confidently. It should not be 22-1.
Yeah, Tomlin has a lot of similarities to Eric Spoelstra, also like widely regarded as one of the best coaches of the league. Never won it. This seems like a good year if he gets his team into your point. But like any seed gets them in.
Yes, any seed. Giants were the last seed last year.
Yeah,
getting this team to the playoffs, I think would.
I like your logic.
I don't love him as a coach either. I think when he has really good talent, he underachieves. But when he's got kind of mediocre teams, he overachieves. I just don't think he should be 22-1. There's not a great candidate here. Like listed all the other guys. To me, Campbell at plus 180. Like we knew that team was good. They're good. They're good. Like they were the favorite. They were minus money to win the division. I don't get that one.
Yeah. Actually the point there with Campbell would hold strongest if that team at this point, what do they have? Do they have 2 losses? So if they go right, like I don't know, they can lose one more and still win. You know, they have a pretty easy schedule too.
Yeah, if he goes 14-3, he has a shot, but I just don't think he should be plus 180.
Yeah, it's not a good price. Like the 22-1 is a great freaking price for what the logic you're using for him to just weave his way up to the top, because it's like almost sneaks up on you, and by the time you get to like the end of the year, you're like, wait a second, we don't have a better candidate. So, this is getting into the playoffs.
This Lions schedule is super easy. Chargers, Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears again, Broncos, Vikings. At the Cowboys is tough, and the Vikings again. You know what? Campbell might go 13 or 14 wins and win this award, I guess.
Crazy. Although Justin Fields is back.
Yes, and
Yeah, right.
Oh, he could win one of those. He could win one of those.
so the downgraded quarterback for the Bears makes the Bears.
Hold on a second. You got me Tyson Bagent over Justin Fields.
I
Stop
don't
it.
know. Is it?
I have
Is it?
DJ Moore in fantasy. I can tell you right goddamn now, Tyson Bagent's not better than Justin Fields.
Who would you rather have, Bagent or Fields? I'd probably rather have Fields. I think it's close.
No, you're off the rails. Dog.
Why?
You're crazy.
Why?
What are you talking about? Are you being serious?
Yeah, they're both backups. They're both long-term backups. Neither one's a starter.
There's a world in which Justin Fields is still a quality starter in the NFL.
What world is that?
The one we live in. You're banking that off of like really bad first like 3 to 4 games, which I fully understand.
30 games of his career, like the only 30 games. How about this? Opening day next year, week 1. Is he a starter for somebody? Yeah. Fields. I'll say he's not.
This team.
I think he is.
Oh, he's not going to start. They're going to draft the quarter. They're going to draft Caleb Williams or somebody.
No, I don't think so.
Let's what are you giving me to that?
Whatever you want.
Wait, listen. I genuinely believe the Bears did so good with the trade that they're gonna want to trade that pick again. Like, I genuinely believe that.
No chance.
Like their team got so much better by making that trade instead of taking quarterback. And I think people are trying to find flaws in Caleb Williams. I think he's generational talent, and I would feel any team would be dumb to pass him up. But they're trying their hardest. Like, even with him just crying in his mom's arm, they're trying to take him down enough for not being tough enough.
They're not going to have the number 1 pick.
Well, they have Carolina's pick and they have their own pick.
Oh,
yeah, it's Carolina.
Who do you think's going to have the number 1 pick? The Giants probably aren't winning again.
The Giants are down to Tommy DeVito. I don't know.
Not if they're going
no
with
idea how Tommy DeVito.
Not that record's everything. He's 6-25 for his career. Like, for me to say he's a backup, I don't think is insane. He's a backup.
No, it's not. No, it's not insane.
He went 2-8, then he went 3-12. Now he's 1-5 this year. Like, come on. This is not Mahomes.
No one's saying he is, but I think he's still better than 16 other quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, that's insane. That's ridiculous.
Right. Josh, you have to name them.
I was gonna say, are we gonna go how in the weeds are we getting with this? Can I give him
if you're gonna go based on he gets fantasy points because he runs, he stinks at passing.
No, I'm not talking about his fantasy points. I'm talking about his ability to throw to wide receivers and receivers in general, which is way better than
passing stats. His passing stats are awful.
Awful.
I'm ready to defend this by going in and looking at it further, or admitting that I'm wrong if I'm like, okay, but my immediate take is that's insane to say Tyson Bagent's better than Justin Fields.
I didn't say they're bad. I was somewhat tongue in cheek. I think they're very comparable.
Well, you didn't make that clear. That's what I'm arguing against.
Yeah, I think they're comparable.
Seriously, and then I thought I had to defend sanity in this world, so I went in on it.
Bagent's not terrible.
Then you switched the cover. Oh, I see what you did. Then you switched the conversation to Justin Fields isn't good, which is like, I'm not arguing that. I'm saying he's better than fucking Tyson Bagent. You got me though.
I think it's marginal.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That's fair for you to say. I agree that you think that, but I don't. So, but like, I would take a little money on him to be the starting quarterback for the Bears
for week 1 next year.
Yeah.
All right. How much?
He has 1 more year left on his contract after this.
I have no idea.
I think so, because it's a year.
Brad, who's gonna win this bet?
Man, listen. I
Okay.
think the only way the Bears draft Caleb Williams if they have the number 1 pick. Draft the quarterback is if they have the number 1 pick and they take Caleb Williams. If not, I think they trade out.
This is a new regime too. This is not that guy. It's not the guy who drafted him.
It's not. But I think that Justin Fields is a better flyer than taking like a Drake May.
I don't. Fields isn't good. Like,
but he's had his glimpses.
Nobody's this better. Yeah, I don't agree. What's that, Josh?
Yeah, he has 1 more year.
All right, how much? He's not the week 1 starter for the Bears next year.
Do I get odds?
No, even money.
Okay.
Why would you want odds if you think I'm the crazy? Like,
I just wanted to see. I'm not gonna leave any kind of money on the table here, baby. Come on.
Do I get odds?
No.
Even money. Fine, I agree. What do you want? Name your price.
What's this is
$500
gonna cash in September of next year.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 250 then.
All right, let's just the record show I'm more confident than you are.
All right, all right, yeah, 300. I don't like.
No, I said 5. I didn't say.
No, I want to do 300 because the 250 gets confusing. I don't want to.
I'm still more confident than you.
That's fine.
You guys are cracking me up.
$300
for me. It's really.
I'm gonna laugh.
Noted, documented.
I'm gonna laugh when this comes back and like someone doesn't forget about it. And they're like,
"Oh, I'm not gonna." Forget.
Will's definitely not gonna forget about it. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna write it down. Otherwise, I will forget about it.
No, this is documented. We're on the air. We have video proof.
Yeah, we got receipts.
I don't know how we got this. I'm putting.
Be a shame if this video is deleted off the YouTube.
I mean, So he was a rookie in 21, 22, 23. When you suck for 3 years, you usually don't get a fourth year.
Truth.
I mean, a
For
couple of nice runs
homie,
that
yeah.
look. I mean, what's up?
Yeah. No, for Fields, you were saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm just wondering how far you want me to go in on this because I can start looking at stuff to like try to back myself up here. Or we can
You'll
move
have a
on to
hard
different
time. His
we
sack
can-
rate, his turnover rate, it's all ugly. Brad knows, right, Brad?
It's very ugly. Which also I want to touch on one thing. People are saying like Jaden Daniels' draft stock is going up in the NFL. He has like one of the worst pressure to sack rates in college football, even though he can run like a maniac. Which is the same thing with Justin Fields. Pretty much why I said that is Justin Fields had the same thing when he was at Ohio State, and then now it translates to the NFL.
Yeah.
Even though you like people don't see that on the field, you don't see those numbers happen on the field, but you see it happen when it translates to a bigger stage, faster opponents, tougher environment to play in.
Yeah, and his
Not
numbers,
environment, but a tougher league.
sacks, turnovers, it's just like historically bad. So
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's the team around him, but it's not all the team. And I don't know. I thought Bajent's played okay. Like I don't think there's just a massive gap between either of them.
Yeah. So my main thing that I quickly looked at just to see if it was my like purview was correct off top was like he played 3 really good defenses to come up out of the gate.
Oh God,
that was a big part of it. And then when he came out,
he played
and played
the Packers early.
Yeah, and even in that game, like maybe that one you can take against him. But the other two teams, we know they have good passing defenses in the Bucks and in the Chiefs. And then if you move down the line, like the games that he wasn't.
So what? So when you play a good defense, you just can't. You just don't get to play. You get to play a bad game.
I think it's indicative. Like then he comes back against
indicative of what though?
Of like if you're a middle of the pack quarterback, then like you're gonna play better in those situations. New coordinator, new receivers coming in, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
When you suck as a quarterback, they fire everyone around you because they get blamed. Like he's in his 3rd year, he's won 6 games.
Been bad since they got him.
Because he's the quarterback and large
debatable debate.
It's really not. None of this
really is.
Debatable.
The talent around him since then has been awful. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I definitely think we'll bring it back.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't.
I can't wait.
I'm not worried about it. I'm trying to not bore everybody around us with our egos going at it.
Can you guys please wait to cash the bet while I'm on the show?
Sure.
Like I want to be present for this because I'm gonna laugh either way. It's nice
I just want to say one thing as we start to narrow down, and if you guys have any NFL stuff, cool. But I want to make sure that I say like I think I'm going in on Jokic MVP.
Okay.
I don't know if that's crazy.
What number is it?
I think I've seen enough. I want to make sure I got the best one because on DraftKings it was plus 300. So I'm just shopping it real quick using our wonderful sponsors app, Pickett Sports. And what I'm coming up with for MVP. The best odds here. Yeah, I think you can get plus 450 still.
You're betting Jokic MVP is what you said?
Yeah.
Why not Embiid back to back? Dude just put up 38 last night.
Embiid.
It was an awesome game. It was an awesome game for him against the Wizards.
I didn't realize they're undefeated against the spread. Them in Brooklyn, depending on where you shop, like 6-0, 7-0.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Wait, Brooklyn's got a team of some dogs now. I love watching Brooklyn play.
Such a good bet.
Yeah,
they have no size though. It's all a bunch of it's a random sort of mishmash roster. But...
And they haven't had Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton, 2 of their taller players in the last couple games, which is crazy. But yeah, not Embiid. Against the Wizards, that was great, like awesome. He's also just like poor Daniel Gafford just sees Joel Embiid in his dreams. If you look up how their matchups, Embiid averages like 38 a game against Daniel Gafford. The reason for Embiid is just like, or for Jokic is watching. I was watching the Nuggets game last night, like I said, when I turned over for that awful game at the end, and it was like watching them come back after they were down. Jokic, another wild triple-double, just whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it, and he just looks bored doing it. There's nobody that's standing out to me anymore.
Oh, he's clearly the best player. He should have won it last year. It was ridiculous. They took it away from him.
So anyway,
yeah. Anything for you have a sleeper hockey before we hockey for sleeper, Brent?
Yep. Let me give out my sleeper. And guys, I tried not to go too nuts, but when you're on bed rest, basically means I wasn't handicapping. I saw a bunch of angles that I liked. And again, I suck at saying the names, but Kosny of the Flyers, 2.5 shots on target. He's hit in 2 of his last 3 against the San Jose Sharks, who are allowing the most shots on target in the NHL. Actually set a record for the most shots on goal, allowed in the NHL in the first 4 or 5 games in the history of the NHL. Next, Evgeny Malkin. Same with the Ducks. Ducks allow a lot of pucks on net, and Malkin's been playing like a beast. He hasn't always been playing like that center spot too. He's been playing some right wing too. So kind of just depends on where he lines up in that line right there. Next, Nikita Kucherov. I played this as a solo at -130, over 3.5 shots on goal against the Canadians. Habs are third in pucks on net allowed. Kucherov has hit this in 3 straight, 4 out of his last 5. Blake Corum, anytime touchdown against Penn State. I actually am on Michigan -4.5. And don't say I'm playing a stale line. I gave this line out 2.5 weeks ago. I even texted Will about it like freaking forever ago. But basically, against Penn State, you're going to want to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're not going to throw, especially in the red zone, throw against one of the best secondaries in the country. And then Drew Allar, quarterback for Penn State, under 1.5 passing touchdowns. Michigan's not letting him throw the ball twice. If they score, it's going to be on the ground with Singleton or Katron Allen.
All right. On that note, we will wrap. Good show. Feisty, which always makes it fun. Josh was working for free today, but appreciate it. Josh, Brad, thank you to Pickett, Sleeper. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern. Appreciate you guys for listening. See you tomorrow.